Religion basically just means to hold down or restrain, basically. Religio, which means a Greek word, which means to hold down or to restrain. We don't do religion, we deal with culture. It's about culture. Okay, we're trying to tell our people that's the culture that we once had. There's the identity which was taken from us. Okay, we began to be known as what? Niggers, spicks.
That's the byword. That's the byword.
Can get that.
I'm going, you know.
Alright, man, take care.
I got you off.
I'll take care.
You're an Israelite.
Yeah, this is Deuteronomy chapter 28.
There's a freedom.
So let me and I appreciate your time. I appreciate your time, mate. Yeah, I just like, it's not that I'm ignorant. I'm not ignorant at all. It's just because I'm not
No one is. We've all been taught, we've all been given what they want to give us.
Yeah.
When you went to school, they only teach you what they want. So we're all underneath that cloud of ignorance, so to speak. And that's the purpose why we're out here, is to take that covering off and to tell people the truth. That's basically it.
Yeah, this is Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 37. And thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb, and a byword among all nations, whither the Lord shall lead thee.
Right, so we become a proverb and a byword among all nations where we've been scattered. We've been lit. Because you have our people in North, Central, and South America. Okay, all in Canada. Okay, the islands, Jamaica, the West Indian Islands, all in Africa, Italy, Spain, Portugal. Some of us even starting to look like the other nations because we're interbreeding among the other nations. And our children look like what they call mixed race or olive skin or whatever. Some of us even start looking like white people. So-called white people.
What do you think? Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
They're still our people.
Yeah.
Just because you look physically different, that doesn't mean you're different. No, we're still the same nation of people. Like you have a lot of our people in Ireland, Scotland, and they look like white people. But they're not. When you check their ancestors look like this proper. So so basically, it's not a physical appearance, it's about where you descend from. It's about your descendants.
But do we know where we descend from? Because my father's Irish. But you look like people, some people are like the Queen of England. Right. From Germany, see?
Yeah, she's not one of us, man. But she knows how to kind of talk.
I'm gonna explain that. But she's from some of these people. What I'm trying to get at is that we're all.
Yeah, you're right.
If I can say one thing, I'm going to say one thing about the Queen because that's a very good point. Now I want to say something about that. Basically, there's a book that I have right back in my house, and it's a book that was written by this guy. It was secret information that he was given, and what happened is just this book. Basically, he jumped on a bus somewhere, and pretty much, I think I have to go back onto it, but he wrote. There was this book dealing with within that book basically is a chapter concerning the black nobility, so to speak. So the thing with the Queen of England and all of that stuff, the reason why she was able to get up in there because during the time of Europe, around the 13th century, around that time period, what you had was you had like black, queens and kings and stuff like that at the time. So what you had was the whites. Now what happened is I use the term so-called. It's like the brother was saying, we all have a biblical nationality. Sure. But just so that you understand, the so-called whites, they came in power by the edict of our people let them come into power and take over. And this is why Britain is the way it is today, so to speak. But the Queen of England, she didn't come from the black nobility. Her ancestors were the ones that came in there that were given that right to be a part of the nobility, so to speak. But yeah, what you were saying.
Back to our saying is that we have our people all around the earth right now that don't look like the other nations. That look like the other nations that we've been mingled upon. You have our people in Korea, Germany, Russia.
So the thing is for today, the agenda or the aim for today is to promote.
It's basically to say to our people, listen, this is about culture, okay? You're the Israelites, you're God's chosen people. Like you have you have our people scattered around the earth, but there's going to be a time where we're going to be resurrected in the earth, according to the gospel of the Bible.
So therefore, go back to Jerusalem.
We're going to go back to that now. Okay, we're gonna be joyous again, but we're gonna rule the earth. We're gonna rule existence. Because right now we're at the bottom. People look down on us. That's the reality. That's the fact.
So I know you mentioned about it's not a religion thing like that. So as country, as a group of people, a body of people, we don't want to talk. We're not talking about religion, but I'm saying so you say you're going to rule the world.
Yeah, we're going to, according to the Bible, we're going to rule. We're going to lead the other nations into the real, the truth of the Most High.
Righteousness.
And the righteous way to live, to conduct yourself according to what the Scripture said. There's certain law, like in this society, there's certain laws. There's laws of the land that people have to follow. Okay, or in our kingdom, there's going to be laws. To order a kingdom, you need laws. You need rules, and everyone's going to follow those rules. Everyone's going to follow those laws. Okay, and that's how there's going to be peace on earth. So because people are going to respect those rules. They're going to respect those laws. Okay.
Yeah, I got something. This is Daniel 9:7. It says, "O Lord, righteousness belongeth unto thee, but unto us confusion of faces, as at this day, to the men of Judah and to the inhabitants of Jerusalem, and unto all Israel that are near."
Right, so there's become a confusion of faces. And you have a lot of our people, among our people, that don't even look like our people. That have blonde hair, blue eyes. Some of them might even look like East Indians. Chinese even. They got the eyes and stuff. They're fair skin. Because we've been interbreeding, so a lot of our people don't look like this properly. So this is not, black like a Black Panther.
This is an Israelite
not a
thing.
Black Panther.
No, I get that. I get that. I think it's cool. It's cool what we're saying, But no, anyway, gentlemen.
Yes, I mean, I want to say this is about you, right? Now, you said you're Irish. Now, your line goes back to the Irish that we were talking about, right? Basically, you would be from the tribe of Judah or Benjamin or Levi, so to speak, regardless of how you look. So, if your line goes back to the people of the covenant, then you're part of the covenant. You're part of the salvation. You're part of the redemption of Israel, because you're an Israelite. So to speak. It ain't got nothing to do with no black or white. It ain't got nothing to do with that.
No. I
This is
think
about Israel.
when people say to me, well, you're black and you're white, now so fucking what? So fucking what? You know what? And that's what I didn't know what was going on. And all I can do is thank you for your time and to educate me in the way that you have.
Oh yeah.
And
It was nice talking to you too, man.
thank you so much again for your time.
Man. You have a blessed day, man.
Shit, thank you, Andrew. Bye.
Oh, no. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Because, I mean, you don't mind. I just want to just say one thing, like, you know, because we like to keep things orderly up here. That's why, you know, I let the brother know, you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, you know what I mean? Like, you're going to have Israelites scattered abroad and looking like the people that they've been scattered in the mist. You understand? And you got these Hebrew Israelite groups out there. Their thing is just, look, man, oh yeah, he's a devil, man. What are you doing? Shaking that devil's hand, very. But they don't understand that basically this truth is not exactly what you want it to be. It's about the depth of what this truth brings about. And we gotta teach that, man. We can't just say, look, this guy, he looks a certain way, so we're not gonna do it. No. Okay, at the end of the day, hey, the guy that came up, we don't know who that guy is, man. We don't know if he could be part of the elect. He might come to us 1 minute and he might not come to us, you know, a couple of weeks, but in a couple of weeks later down the line, he might come back and he may agree with what we say.
Man, no,
you understand? No, I'm just making an example, because even as one guy, you know, me and his brother, we used to be a Ramas camp, and this, you know, this so-called white guy, he used to just stand there listening. Okay? He used to just stand there listening every single week. You see him every single week, you know? And I mean, he probably listens to the brothers too, but I'm just saying, just because somebody looks a certain way, right? Because I'm even going as far as saying this, you even got Israelites that are Edomites, that look like Edomites, and they speak that old posh language, that posh English. You got Israelites among them guys too. Okay? So, hey man, that's what I've been saying on that regard. You know what I mean? And that's why the great Millstone brothers, man, were the ambassadors and the vanguards of the street, because we bring it out accordingly, man. You know, there's no cutting corners, raw and direct, the way it's supposed to be put out. Anyway, that's what I wanted to say.
soon. Yeah, this is Baruch. 2. Verse verse 29. A small number among the nations where I will scatter them, but I knew that they would not hear me because
Small number. Wherever we are, you know, you don't see Jake in huge amounts of number out flooding the heathens. The heathens outnumber us. That's why they persecute us, because they see like a small group of, you know, what they call niggas or cannibals, you know, and then they try to persecute us and say, oh yeah, no, they're cannibals, and so they want to persecute us because we're a small number of us among them. In our East India, you know, say the East Indians outnumber us now. Korea, we don't outnumber the Koreans in Korea. They outnumber us. Wherever Germany, do you think we up in Germany outnumbering them? So that's prophecy. Portugal, Spain, Italy, wherever we are in the world, the heathens outnumber us. Okay, so
So it says, it shall know, it's about to get serious, but I knew that they would not hear me, because it is a stiff-necked people, but in the land of their captivity, they shall remember themselves.
Where did that war first start taking place? In the land of their captivities, they shall remember, they shall call it to mind, man. Remember, look back to your memory. So there's a spirit the Most High put on certain men, Most High elected certain men to revive and to breathe life again into the valley of dead dry bones, man. In that valley of death, darkness, with the darkness of death on every side, but with the food we eat, the chemtrails, even what we've been educated with, is death, man. Ignorance, darkness. Identity, being black, that's death. Okay? But life came through a man called Abba Biggs, man. When he prophesied, when he blew wind upon them dry bones, man. Okay? And flesh, and that flesh came upon their bone. In their identity, man. Who they are, man. And then it came back to our minds. Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah, with the Israelites, with the Jews, with the real Jews. Judah, okay, Benjamin, Banyamyan, Loya, Sinaiwan, Tabalawan, Apayam, Anashar, Roban, Gad, Ashar, Napasadia, and Ayashakar. See, we're the Hebrews. So we're calling it to mind, okay? You learn about this. That before we came to West Africa, okay, became known as the Nigeria, okay, Sierra Leone, okay, Guinea-Bissau, Ivory Coast, Congo, Angola, the Bantu, yeah, Uganda, we say Zambia, you see, we came from the land of Yasha Allah.
What's this made?
This is a sign knowing the 12 tribes of Jacob. And these people here, they're the Israelites. We're not Jamaicans, okay, we're Africans, black, African Americans, Mexicans. No, we're none of those things. These are all modern terminologies.
Well, so yeah, sorry, what are you actually talking about?
But this is about culture. It's not religion.
No, yeah, but what I don't know what you're talking about.
Basically, these
12
people,
tribes of Israel, and then we're going down to
right, all of this, like with American Negroes,
right,
West Indians.
right.
You read down
What point are you trying to get across?
we're trying to tell these people that you're none of these, you're not these things at all. This is not what you are. You're not Negroes.
The Americans.
We're not Americans. Like, there's no such thing as the ancient Americans.
They are the Indian.
But they didn't call themselves Americans. That land wasn't even
They're
called American.
They're Indian. They're Native Americans are Indians.
But they never called themselves.
Okay.
That's something that Europeans called them.
Yeah, I got you. I got
What's the Dr. Benjamin is? What's West Indians then?
West Indian. This is the English translation of Benjamin. This is an English translation. Okay, we was once a nation of people, and
So,
in a nation you have tribes.
What are you trying to? You've got Mexicans, Argentinians, and Brazilians.
So forth.
Right, okay. You've got a lot of cultural nationalities. But what's your point?
We're trying to tell these people
Yes.
that this is the tribe you come from.
Do they come from those tribes?
You come from that tribe.
Do they come from those tribes?
Yeah, we come from that. We're those tribes. We come from those tribes.
Yeah, you Italians come from.
God.
That's the way you're talking.
Yeah.
How do they come from those tribes?
Because it's all scriptorial. It's a spiritual discernment. You believe in the Bible?
The Argentines, the Argentinian Chile has got a massive history. Yeah?
Do you believe in the Bible?
They come from Napoli.
Do you believe in the
I'm
Bible?
not saying it right. I'm not saying it right. I'm not saying it right.
But we gotta get that straight.
I'm only asking
This
a
is
question.
Isaiah 5, verse
No, no, no,
26.
wait.
And he will lift up an enzyme to the nations from far, and he will hiss unto them from the end of the earth, and behold, they shall come with species. Because he was saying how, this is a sign in Isaiah 5 and 26.
What Bible is that? Sorry.
Yeah, it says he will lift up an enzyme to the nations
What Bible is this? Sorry.
King James Bible.
from afar, right? So it says he will lift up an enzyme, which the enzyme is an example or the sign to let our people know the deal on how we're the real Jews that the Bible speaks about. We're not African Americans, we're not blacks, we're not Puerto Ricans, we're not yellow and green people. Okay,
No,
we're the people of Israel.
No,
okay,
well,
and your people. Now, what's your nationality?
These are all.
First and foremost, do you believe in the Bible?
These are all people. These are
Yeah, I know, but
human
these
beings.
are the people of
You
Moses.
believe in the Bible?
Human beings.
You obviously don't. You don't believe in the Bible. You don't have
Some
a,
of
if
it,
you don't,
some
if you
yes,
don't,
some
It's
no.
fine, it's good.
Some yes, some no.
Okay. We
By
can't.
birth, I'm Roman Catholic.
Roman Catholic.
By birth.
Are you Irish?
No, I'm English. I'm proud. My mum was Irish. Mum was Catholic. You're categorising people.
According to what the Bible says.
Sorry, but I think, hey, we're all human race, we're all people, aren't we?
Yeah, we're all people,
So
but
you
there's different,
don't- you
there's
don't-
different nations.
Well, don't,
Different nations of people.
I don't think you should categorise people.
That's because you want to change. That's not even your. That's the belief of this system.
No, it's
this
not a
society
system. What
of
system?
your nation.
What system?
You try to. You want to get rid of
No.
identities.
Yeah, but I know
You want to get
I've
rid
not
of.
said a word.
They're all the same colour.
Yeah, we're all humans, right? In the animal world, they're all animals. But it doesn't change the fact that there's different species of
Right,
animals,
I think.
and they all join to their
Right.
own species.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
I see human rights.
Verse
I see
8.
human rights.
When the Most High divided to the nations their inheritance,
The Most High divided to the nations their inheritance.
when he separated,
So each nation has their own inheritance. They only have their own patch of land. Okay? Every
See you later.
says, when the Most High divided to the nations their inheritance,
the Most High divided to the nations their inheritance. The Most High, you don't believe in the high entity that is an entity higher than mankind.
But in my house, there was never none of that. Like, my mum that never took us.
It's not even because you're probably thinking when you believe in God, that means you're religious. It's not, you don't have to. You don't have to be religious. You don't have to listen.
There must be something there, you know what I mean? Because why would we be here?
You know, right? You don't have to be religious to believe that there's a higher power. You don't have to be, I'm Muslim, but some devout religious, but you just know that there's something out there that's higher than obviously mankind. That created existence, life. There's nothing. It doesn't mean you're religious.
Yes, sis. And when he separated the sons of Adam, he set the bounds of the people according to the number of the children of Israel.
When he separated the sons of Adam. So you have to understand that mankind, all of mankind, all these different races of people, they had a genesis.
Yeah, but why can't everyone just get along?
You can get along, but like I said, it doesn't change the fact that there's different nations.
Well,
Yes, but there was a separation, meaning that's why there's a thing called racism. That's why there's a thing called racism, meaning people are for their own people. Like you might be a football fan. You have your own football team. You don't support all teams getting together. You know that you're for your team, they're for their team. We're gonna get on the football field and we're gonna kick ball. I wanna beat you, you wanna beat me. That's how it is. That's with us, we're for our own nation, you're for your own nation. But you're not gonna have the same compassion on another nation that you have for your own. That's what's the reality.
Yeah, but it all boils down to the people in the top though, innit? Like the fucking people that's in the parliament and all that shit causing all the havoc.
Right.
Well, for no reason.
Right.
And for what? What is everyone gaining out of it? Just people dying, people fucking... It's not, you know what I'm saying?
But they're serving their own personal interests anyway. They're serving their own...
I understand why you guys are pissed, yeah? Trust me, I do, man. But they don't understand that. If they walked in your shoes, okay, then they'd understand. But they don't want to do that.
Anyway, go ahead.
This is Genesis 11 verse 1.
Anyway, I let you go, man. Anyway, yeah, look up.
This is Genesis 11 verse 1. This is Genesis 11 verse 1. And the whole earth was of one language and of one speech. And it came to pass as they journeyed from the east, and they found a plain in the land of Shinar. And they dwelt there, and they said one to another.
Shinar, so that's showing you them ancient cities, man. Them different ancient, like Shinar, get me? Babu.
Yep.
Yeah. What else you had? You had
Yeah, the Chaldean.
Right. Where else did you have? You had different ones. Obviously, you had Mesopotamia. That was fucking Babu, man.
Yep.
Then I'm trying to forget. It's coming out of my head, man. You had different ones, man. Like Abraham, he came from
Yeah, yeah.
And was surrounded by marshland, different rivers. You know, you had the Tigris River,
You had the Euphrates River.
You know what I'm saying? So that land, there was like, a lot of it was swamp, marshland. There was also a lot of flooding there, a lot of floods there. Okay?
And even when you read the book of Genesis, I think it's chapter, I believe it's 3 or 4, where it speaks about the rivers. You had the Adiku River and the Tigris River. So that particular portion of the land, like the brother just made mention of that, the different areas, that's really actually where we belong. We belong in those areas. You know, we don't belong in no Africa. We belong in that particular area. You know, that's where we're originally from, the Middle East.
You know what I'm saying? So that's the land, man, where we're gonna be at right now. Right now, we're gonna be there. You know, because when it goes into the Most High, he has favorite lands, man.
We even sleeping in those areas.
Yeah.
You know.
Okay, go ahead, man.
Yeah, this is Genesis 11 verse 2. And it came to pass as they journeyed from the east, and that they found a plain in the land of Shinar, and they dwelt there. And if I can say one thing too, is you know you have like resin of all different types. Okay, you got frankincense, you got myrrh, okay, you got cobalt resin. All these different resins come from the Middle East. Okay, even certain parts of Ethiopia too. But around that Middle Eastern region, that's where you get the what is it, man? Those expensive scents. All right, like frankincense and myrrh is expensive. Or even back in the ancient world, okay, even the whole idea of balms, incense, that all comes from that's a Middle Eastern thing. That comes from us, so to speak. You know, like the brother was going into.
You know,
that's what I'm gonna say. That's it.
You know, good.
Yeah, this is verse 2.
But it said that the people were all of one language. What language is that? That's the wrong Kodash. Because the Most High made it where they started speaking. Most High provided tongues for somebody to start speaking different dialects.
And they said one to another, go let us make brick and burn them thoroughly. And they had brick for stone and slime as they for mortar. And they said, go to, let us build us a city and a tower whose top may reach unto heaven. And let us make a name lest we be scattered abroad upon the face of the whole earth. And the Lord came down to see the city and tower which the children of men builded. And the Lord Yahweh said, behold, the people is one, and they have all one language, and this they begin to do. And now nothing will be restrained from them which they have imagined to do.
So this is your first incident of a world religion, man.
Right.
Because you had false philosophies before that. Going back to the serpent, man, when the serpent tried to entice the naked woman. So you had nations even before Babel, before the flood, man, where people were spreading their little lies, man, and heresies, man. But this is the first incident where the people came together and said, you know what? Let's do our own thing, man. Do our own worship.
She got a look at attitude, man. She thinks she's better than you.
Don't worry, man. Don't worry, man.
That's that nigga woman attitude.
Don't worry, man. That's Eve right there.
When you said it, you said the nigga woman.
Nigga woman in there. That's the spirit. And Eve came on the scene.
Where it says,
and really what's going on out here ain't no different from what's going on back then.
You see Eve and the serpent right now all the time. Yeah. Walking with the serpent all the time. You know what I'm trying to say? That's right. That's right. But this is the first incident where there was actually a world religion. The nations came together and said, yo, let's worship the constellations and the different, you know, the firmament of the sky. Let's make a tower so we can, you know, observe the stars, the moon, the sun. You know, that's that whole Semiramis and Tammuz worship. Okay? Because that whole philosophy stemmed from the idea that there was a man called Nimrod, man. Okay? There was a man called Nimrod. How you doing?
come on, brother.
Yeah. So there's a man called Nimrod, and he had sex with his mother, Semiramis, man.
Yeah.
Okay? And then Nimrod, he got killed, I think it was by a wild pig. That's what the myth or the legend says, that he got killed by a pig. And then Semiramis made up a story saying that he died and went to the sun, and then he was because she was pregnant.
Yeah.
So she tried to tell everybody that Nimrod came miraculously came conceptualized, and then came back as Tammuz. And that's how that whole worshipping of you know, the virgin, the immaculate conception came about through that, man. So that's where all that force, this whole the tribe, man, the mother, the son, and the Holy Spirit.
That's that Trinitarian doctrine.
Father, Son, and Spirit, man. That whole Trinity goes back to that.
And even Islam too, the moon god.
The moon god, the crescent moon in Islam, that all goes back to the Chaldees, man. Okay, when they were worshipping the moon was always being worshipped in the ancient world, man. Okay, the sun.
Yeah.
That's why even the tribe of Yashakar, the Mexicans, they were sacrificing their own people to the sun, man. That's why they had the pyramids down there in Mexico. Okay, sacrificing to the sun. That's an ancient pagan custom, man. Okay, but like I said, that whole mother and son worship, that's a religion that goes all the way back to the ancient world, the distant ancient world, man. And it's been handed down through the millennia, man, the centuries. But it's just been reformed. The names have been reformed. Okay, just been reformed. That same Semiramis, that figurehead has always been worshipped. Okay, it was known as the Madonna. Okay, the Queen of Heaven. The Queen of Heaven. What's the Greek one? The goddess of love. What's her name? Aphrodite.
That's Greek.
Yeah, the Aphrodite.
The woman was Venus.
The Aphrodite, yeah, Aphrodite. Yeah, then who else? And then I think it's Isis of Egypt.
Horus.
The woman one. You had Horus, Isis, and there was a trio of them. I think it was the woman her name was Set or something like that. One of them. You could do the research on it. And then they also she was also known as obviously Virgin Mary.
Yeah. Come.
Now, when you go into the Bible, the word virgin this means a young woman of a marriageable age. Which means she was just a young woman of a marriageable age. Okay.